Alright guys, this video is going to be a little bit different. I've spent the last few days in my office actually. So I have the shop where all the machining equipment is, and then I have a little design studio as well. We're going to talk about equipment. Now my old CNC machine built in 1999, that's one thing we've covered. All the other equipment out there, the Bridgeport, the surface grinder, on and on, all that stuff is probably 30 plus years old, well before my time. Most of my equipment is also very, very old. Some things are new, like the hammer, the 3D taster. But in my design studio, in my office, my equipment's very new, and it's very important. So one aspect of my job, other than machining, is I do design work as well. Let's go over what I use, what my gear is, and give you an idea of kind of where we're at here in our equipment. Okay, here you can see one of the parts I've just been working on. This is the Cass bonnet, is what it's called, and basically this thing lives this thing lives upside down, kind of in this orientation. Let's get that just right for you. Kind of lives like that, and then instruments hang off of this. Yeah. So this monitor is the newest thing I've gotten. This is the Asus PG42UQ, 41.5 inch OLED monitor. I love it. I think it's awesome. It has some weird auto dimming features where you leave this thing sit for a while, it dims down. But as soon as you come in and start manipulating your model again, it pops right back up. So it's very workable. The quality of the picture is phenomenal. And then I work with some pretty big models, so the size of this thing is a game changer compared to what I used to have. I had a 32, and then I think I had a 27 over here in the vertical. In the vertical arrangement. So I had a 32 horizontal, and then a 27, I think it was, in vertical. So I could display full pages over here of information, and then I had my big 32-inch monitor kind of over here. But this is much nicer. So yeah, new screen. And here you can see the mouse I use. It's a little bit older, but 3D connections, quite nice stuff. Really like the scroll wheel and all the buttons that this thing has. I don't have anything programmed. I just use it as a regular mouse, but just the feel of it and mostly the quality of the scroll wheel, really nice. And then over here I've got the 3D connection space mouse. It's pretty cool. Keyboard I use is a Corsair, a little bit older Corsair. It's a darn nice keyboard. I was able to pick this up used locally here. And interesting story, I was able to meet and give a summit tour up on the mountain to the owner of Corsair. Happy to use his equipment. For sound, I actually use Harman Kardon sound cubes, I think they're called. Again, they're pretty old, but pretty darn high quality. And underneath the desk, we've got the sub down there. Use a pretty big UPS, so in case we lose power, everything keeps working for, I don't know, this thing, depending on what we're doing, this thing will keep working for a few minutes. It allows me to save things and shut down properly without losing any information. And power outages are not uncommon out here in Hawaii. All right, and now this is the workhorse right here. What I use is a Box Apex S3. Let's go over the specs on this guy right now. Okay, we pulled up the system information. You can see it's an Apex S3. Uses the 12th generation Intel processor. It's an i9 12900K. Now its base clock speed is 3.19 gigahertz, but it runs way faster than that. And we know that for SolidWorks, which is the software we use, you want the fastest single core you can get, unless you're doing analysis or rendering or something like that, in which case you want a bunch of cores. And in this case, we've got, I believe it's a 6-core processor, but I'm going to have a look at that here in a second. Running Windows 11 Pro, and here you can see Box Technologies. They're a great company to work with. You call and you talk to a guy in Texas and a person in Texas. Anyways, they know what they're talking about. They're responsive, and the stuff is quality. The cases are designed in Texas, and of course things on the inside are made elsewhere, but that's okay. All computers are. All right, here you can see we've got the task manager up, and we're looking at the performance. Of course, the computer's just idling right now. Memory is, we have 64 gigs of memory here. Kind of would like a little more, and maybe some point down the road we will upgrade to maybe 128. I don't know if this guy's capable of that or not, but we'll see. I got a couple of SSDs in here, and here you can see the GPU is an NVIDIA Quadro P6000. That's a no joke GPU. And it's got 24 gigs of memory on board, just the GPU. It's a pretty wicked piece. And the difference between a gaming video card and this Quadro card, you're only going to notice a big difference when you've got a very, very large model open. And again, I do some very large models, an entire telescope. And if you're interested, 2019 SolidWorks used my telescope model as kind of their new product rollout, and I can link some of that video stuff here, I think. And then later they came out to Hawaii, sent a film crew out, and they shot a pretty cool video that SolidWorks used as a promotion tool, and I'll link that video. Try the same thing. We'll link that video up here. All right, I'm doing a Cinebench test for you. This is version R23. We are 3 minutes in, and what's it say? We're on our 7th pass. CPU is running 100%, 4.4 gigahertz. Remember, the base speed was 3.19 gigahertz, so this is running at 4.4. 16 cores, 24 logical processors. So we'll let this go the full 10 minutes of the test and see how we fare. Shouldn't throttle down from heat because the CPU actually, the CPU is on a water cooler. So it's got a nice, I don't know what size it is, but it is a nice water cooler. Okay, only 23 seconds to go, and it's never slowed down. Still cranking at 4.4 gigahertz. We are on our 20th pass right now. Looks like that's going to be the end, though. All right, CPU's back to idle. Fans kicked off, and our final score is 26,625. Okay, I also loaded up Geekbench. It's version 5, and you can see there's our score. 2020 single core and 18171 multi-core. If anybody wants to test their system against this. And on Geekbench I went ahead and did the OpenCL test for the GPU 58354. That P6000 Quadro card is a crusher. And also on Geekbench 5, the CUDA test for the GPU, 52,800. There we go. And as far as the rest of the office goes, it's a bit of a mess in here. I've got drawings on the ground. I've got cubes up here for my Vive. That's set up and that's running on a badass box laptop. And then this whole setup right here is kind of a virtual machine that anybody could log into, any of our engineers, and run ANSYS, COMSOL, and it runs on this unit right here, which is no joke. We don't run a water cooler because I want this to run all the time and I don't want to risk having a water leak. So just that killer Cooler Master, Corsair giant power supply, that Asus board, and the graphics card's a little small, but it's enough to do what they need to do over here. I think that's got 64 gigs of RAM as well. And then the other thing I have right at my desk is this real nice Hewlett-Packard Design Jet T210. So 24-inch paper roll, and it's got a sheet feeder as well, so I can put 11 by 17 or 8.5 by 11 paper in the sheet feeder, and I can print drawings big so I can actually read them. That's a great printer. It just works and works and works. All right, now out in the shop, for those that are interested, what I do all my programming on, Mastercam, and also edit all my videos, is this Alienware M17. I like the big screen because, you know, I'm a little older and it's easier to see a big screen. Let's see, the video card is an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060. This particular machine, this particular machine has an i7-9750H CPU, 16 gigs of RAM. I'm running Windows 11 Home version, yeah, it's a ripper. Does really good. It's very durable. I like that it has this, I guess it's a magnesium case on it. I travel all over the place with this thing, and it does great work. It can obviously edit these videos in 4K and do the Mastercam work. And like I said, the software, my Mastercam software, is MCAM Northwest, and those guys are awesome. Can't say enough good stuff about them. Hey guys, so one quick tip. This is what I store everything on. It's kind of a backup, and it's where I do all my work for the YouTube videos off of. This is a pretty cool little device. Inside of this is an M.2 drive, and those guys are pretty inexpensive right now. So if you're looking for something, I got a terabyte M.2 inside that thing. And if you're looking for something that can store a lot of information, and it's got, I think it's USB-C, so it transmits information really quick too. So anyway, I like that guy. There are others out there, but that guy works for me. Well, I hope that was helpful. A little bit away from machining, kind of. I think you have to be up on software, and your computers really are responsible for the final outcome of your projects if you're using a CNC machine. So we use Mastercam, the latest and greatest, 2023. MCAM Northwest is our reseller, and they have phenomenal support. Couldn't recommend that more if you're on the West Coast. And then for design, we use SolidWorks. I'm sitting on version 2022 Service Pack 5. Not going to move to 2023 until after SolidWorks World, which I am headed to in a couple days. So our next video is going to be from SolidWorks World.